Hello, I'm Nigel Field, and I just want to talk a little bit about my research group, which is entitled An Attachment Theory-Based Perspective on Loss and Trauma. The kind of work I've been doing is pretty diverse. I've been doing sort of two major areas of research. One involves work on bereavement, and in particular, this work I've been interested in the ongoing attachment to the deceased loved one. In the bereavement literature, there's a lot of interest in how even when somebody dies, is that the bereaved doesn't give up the attachment, that somehow the deceased lives on internally. And what I've been looking at is how depending on how one maintains this inner bond with the other, it can be associated with good adaptation, or it can be associated with more maladaptive functioning, and in worst case scenarios, imply sort of denial that the other's even dead. Okay, and so that's one area I've been doing a fair amount of work in. A second area is in the area of intergenerational transmission of trauma, with particular focus on genocide. I've been doing work in Cambodia, looking at the effects of genocide in Cambodia on what it's like to grow up with a parent who went through, pretty horrific times, okay, in which they suffered many losses, experienced a lot of trauma. So the way my research groups go is that I do have a lot of data sets that I have collected, many from Cambodia, in fact. And so one of the things that I want my students to be able to do early on is to be able to get used to working with data. Okay, so this year, for instance, I have 4 students who we meet weekly as a group, and each of the students is going to be doing a poster presentation, and so they're working on existing data sets. I want to ensure that everyone in my research group has an opportunity to present somewhere, which is a requirement of the Ph.D. program now anyway, and ideally to be a co-author in something. Now, as far as getting to the dissertation stage of something, I may have some archival data sets that could be used as a basis for a dissertation, although that's not altogether clear, and that's something that we would have to negotiate as time goes. I guess it's time for me to wrap up here, and so I think the thing is that if you're interested in my group, contact me, and we can talk further about it. And I think, let's just leave it at that.